Hello, my name is Andrew Shepard. My cat died last week. 37 years old and died falling off the counter. She was dead before she hit the ground, I think. I haven't buried her. I'm too sad about it. I just stuffed her in the freezer, and now whenever I want a popsicle, I see her and I start crying again. And on top of that, I sat on my couch and I noticed a tear in it. And you know what they say about a stitch in time. Well, something about a stitch in time. But it applies to all methods of fastening things, like zip up your zipper now or you'll get cold later, or take the antibiotics before you give it to someone else, or go to rehab before you OD on cough syrup or PCP or whatever. Or take care of your mom. You know, my mom's doing okay, I think. You know, I was having a pretty good day if I wasn't thinking about my cat or the couch, and then shotgun shot me in the foot, and I'm probably gonna get gangrene. I'm hoping the burlesque show will cheer me up. What are you guys doing? Anyhow, the other day I'm walking down the street. The street is literally on fire, and I see this little girl, and her life is like a soap bubble. And then pop, she's here in the middle of the street looking up at me, and she goes, "What are you?" And I tell her I'm a tiger. And she goes, "Why?" I don't know. I tell her I just am. And she asks me, am I going to eat her? And I tell her no, I gave up on eating children. And she goes, "Why?" And so I tell her that it's this philosophy I'm working out about sin and redemption, since God is apparently nuts. And she's still just sort of looking at me. And so I tell her, think about it. If God's watching, why'd he snuff you out? Why are you standing here alone in the middle of a burning street with a dead tiger? And she goes, "Yeah, but why did you give up eating children?" And so I had to tell her about the two kids in the forest and how I can't stop thinking about them and how I have all this guilt, and she doesn't understand that, the guilt thing. She doesn't have any guilt. Well, she tells me she's afraid, and I tell her that I am too. Well, then she just starts to cry, and I say, no, don't cry, but she cries harder. And so I tell her, "Hey, do you want to see something amazing?" And she's like, "What?" And I tell her it's a garden. And I don't know why I say this, but I tell her it's God's garden. And she's skeptical at first, I can see that, but I bring her here. And it's like nothing she's ever seen before. And I nailed it because she's not crying anymore.